Hi all, just a quick note ahead of this week's podcast. I've lost the audio from a microphone, so for the first 12 minutes the audio is through my camera's microphone. It's not the best in the world, but it's not the worst. But other than that, enjoy. Right then, welcome to Ryan's Road podcast, number 18. So close to 20. Straight on with it, if you're new to the podcast. I always say, get back to the start. Nah, I advise to, because I like to feel that anyone that's been carrying on with the podcast and worked their way through the episodes, that they feel like it's our podcast, you know, they're a part of it, sort of thing. Mainly because the way I do the podcast, you know, like I say, it's number 18, it's young, man, is that I kind of document my way through it. Pardon me, see, I'm burping. See, you're already a part of it. In that I don't hide anything, and if I fucked up, I leave it in there and I explain it the following week, and I just kind of go through it. So I'm showing all the flaws and shit, because this podcast and kind of one of the messages that I try and put through is that, like, how real life is and how real we should expect shit, and not this fake glazed over version that we see a lot online and on the social media side of things. Like, look, pretty pictures are great, but when people try and portray that that's a life, it's not. So, like, my podcast, I don't fucking edit it anymore. Like, I burped then, sorry, I used to edit them out, fucking don't now. It is what it is. So if you go back to the start and watch your way through, I like to think you'll feel like you've grown with the podcast. And the idea being that once I'm on episode fucking 200 and you got people joining in, you'll be one of the ones that be like, hey mate, I was there when you used to burp during the podcast. Fuck's sake, who the fuck are you, newbie? So yeah, go back to the start. If not, and you want to sit around and hang around for this podcast to get a feel for it, this episode, that's cool too. I don't mind. It's all gravy, baby. Jumping straight into it for this week is something I've been pondering lately. In how our brain works, right? So think of this. You know when you get old sayings, you know, like, you can do it, like, believe to achieve, like, if you put your mind to it, you can accomplish anything, like, shit like that. I always say this, we've reached a point where there's a lot of phrases out there that just seem fucking cringy, but the message behind them is still very true. It's just that they're that cringy, we don't take it on board. So it's what fucking hell, Roy, use words. This is if this is your first podcast. It's when, you know, your brain's really trying to fuck you up, and like you're really stressing about shit, and things are going like really bad, or like you're really worrying about things, or you're really worrying about like your life, or where you're going, or things that are going on that day, or things that are going on in your relationship, or maybe at work, or like I say, where you're heading, or maybe what you want to do and you're not doing, and like it creates all this fucking shit, or maybe you got like phobias about something and whatnot, and this and that. It's like all of that is made in your brain. Right. Like I say, I'm not too sure how to articulate this, but I'm going to try and get it across the best I can. So I've just been thinking a lot lately about, like, literally how powerful your mind is. And, God, if we could really, really learn to use it as a tool, we could do a lot fucking more. If we could recognise, and like when you're getting if you're getting some thoughts in your head that are being generated and they're holding you back, if you can almost realise, like, hang on, like, these things that are pushing me and holding me back aren't actually tangible. They're not actually there. Like, my brain's made that happen and made me think that and made me feel about that thought. It's like, well, if you can kind of jump in the driver's seat and, well, actually, fuck you, now I know how it works, we're going to go for a fucking joyride this way, and I'm going to tell myself that shit's okay, and that I ain't fucking worried about that today, and that guy's a prick, and I don't have to fucking talk to him if I don't fucking want to. You know what I mean? You can start to control it. I did recently read David Goggins' book. I think it's titled You Can't Hurt Me. Highly recommend it. if I get to the point of having enough time to plan, I will start going through some books because I think it could be cool. But it's really interesting, and I've touched on this a little bit before as well, in that just how your brain holds you back. My way of wording it is, I used to say that the example of, if you went for a run, you just started running again, let's say, getting up on a Sunday and going for your run, and you're having to stop a couple of times because you're getting out of breath, and you're telling yourself like, oh, I've got to ease myself back into it, and blah de blah, and you are. And then, I don't know, your second or third Sunday doing that, because you do it once a week, don't ask me why. You get a call, or you're made aware that your house is on fire and your wife and kids are stuck in there. They cannot get out. No one's come to save them. It's down to you. Don't ask me for specifics, alright? I'm not writing a fucking script. So, it's down to you to get back to your home to save the life of your family. You're gonna fucking run. You will run, and you will fucking get there. No matter what. And if your brain starts going, I'm getting a bit tired, like it's getting a bit hard to breathe, I don't give a fuck, I want my family to live, I'm fucking getting home. You will get there. Now what's interesting about that is that your body hasn't changed in that moment. The two situations seem completely different, right? Physically, nothing is different about you in those two situations. Only how you're driving your brain. Because in the more extreme one, you've jumped in the driver's seat. In the other one, you're just kind of doing what it lets you do, what it lets you tell you, sort of thing. David Goggins says the 40% rule, which is where he says that your brain will stop your body at 40% of its max. So when you're there and you're saying like, oh no, I can't do any more, like it ain't happening, you're actually at 40%. Some people might be 50, 60, but the basic thing he's saying is that you're stopping well short of your max. And that is like a life prevention thing, because if you push yourself to your max, like, you could fucking die if you really, really pushed it. Oh, it's like a car if you just drive round fucking bouncing off the rev limiter the whole fucking time. Well, actually, no. Even more the point, it's got a rev limiter. If there weren't a limiter there, you'd blow your fucking engine up because you'd be going over the fucking limit. Red line. So you come with a basic limiter, essentially, in your head, because it don't want to let you push that far. But you fucking can. A little more recent example, I was on a job because I'm an electrician, and I was talking to the kitchen fitter roughly about this sort of stuff. At one point, he says to me that, because we're on about exercise and fitness and stuff, and he said he goes on this walk with his dogs every morning, because he said, I do get up, I go for a walk with my dogs. And he described this field he gets to with his dogs, and he lets them off the leads and they run. I'm sure he said it's about a mile long, this field, so it must be a big field. And he said he's been running the length of the field and back. And he said his goal was to be able to do that without stopping by his birthday. I was like, well, how many times do you stop then? And he was like, oh, a couple and whatnot. And I was like, why? And he was like, well, my legs start to ache and blah de blah. And then I just said, like, you've got more. I went, if you keep telling yourself that, and I told him the example of the house on fire thing. And I said, like, that's just your brain. Like, you've got fucking more. I went, I bet if you really fucking had to, you'd get to the end of that field without stopping. Fact. If you just had the right motivation, the right seat, if you get in the driver's seat, your fucking head, and be like, no, we're fucking going, mate. We're fucking going. You'd fucking do it. And he said a couple more things about it and whatnot. And I said, that's just your brain trying to make you a pussy. Like, you can fucking do it. Next day, saw him, said he'd done the run, he stopped once. And you could see it in his face, he was happy about that. And I was like, yes, mate. See? You can fucking do it. It's these little fucking boundaries and barriers that our mind try. But this... The physical example is obviously the easiest, because you do just get them little barriers. You can train yourself almost as well. Like with it, I had it the other morning when I got up to do my workout, because I have to get up about 5:30, 6 o'clock to do my workouts in the morning, because I work a full-time job and I've got a fucking young family that I'm trying to raise. And it was a bit chilly, and it hadn't been lately. And I come out to open my back gate for a mate that comes to train with me. And my head went, it's a bit chilly, I need to go in and get a jacket or a coat. Well, jacket or a jumper. And then I took that little challenge then. I was like, no, I don't fucking need to. Like, I'm not going to freeze to death. And I didn't get a jumper and I was fine. See, it's tiny. Some of you might even laugh at that. Oh yeah, you didn't get a jumper, big whoop, do you want a fucking medal? No, I don't want a medal. Because it's like lifting little fucking ankle weights sort of thing. You know, it's just little. You can train, you don't have to be like, oh, I'm going to get in a fucking ice bath and stay there and set a world record. No, mate, just, if you don't have to go out finding shit. That is what David Goggins does, by the way. He's the extreme, but it's cool as fuck. But in your own life, it's just when you get them little barriers, them little challenges in your mind, pardon me, jump to it. Try to tell yourself, no, I don't need that. Or like when it's like weight loss and stuff like that, or you're trying to tell yourself, oh, I'll just have 2 biscuits. Like, how about no? But see it in a way of like you're trying to train your mind like you would do your body in a workout, but this time it's your brain. Like it's adding to your list of weights that you've done. Like, oh, I can stop myself having fucking biscuits with me tea every fucking day. Like, yes, another like weight added on to my brain dumbbell. You know what I mean? Like working up your resilience to like not doing the shit and that sort of crap. I'd go along with that. But it's just really fucking interesting, just these little barriers that your mind sets. And like I say, it's your brain that comes up with all of it. It's not magic. It's all created in your own fucking head. But it is literally, you are capable of changing it and directing yourself any fucking way you want to go. I think it's good to probably start doing it in a physical exercise way. There was another example that I had in my head a second ago and it's just fucking gone because I'm an idiot. Because again, I didn't write things down. I really need to get in the habit of trying to write things down. I said last week that I'd start writing shit down. Check me out, I didn't. I'm just going to have a quick drink, water. Is this where you need a guest on? Because I could have a sip of this water while they're fucking talking. Excuse me. So yes, like I say, it's not a major perspective, but I definitely think it's one for just trying to bear in mind for what you're doing and when you're starting things. If it's a new fitness regime or a new diet or maybe a new relationship, or maybe you're trying to end a relationship because you're not happy in something, you want to fucking get out of it. And it's like, you probably got all these voices telling you you're comfortable and now it'll be okay and all that sort of shit. It's like you can apply it to that. Like I say, these kind of perspectives to try and put across, obviously I give the best examples I can, but most of the time they're applicable to life and anything else you're going to fucking come across. Anything that your brain is telling you, just take it with a pinch of salt. Because it's all created in your fucking head. Nothing's actually fucking put it there. So like I say, if you can just learn to push that fucking barrier, you don't have to fucking go full marathon fucking runner. But what you can do is just give yourself that little bit of a fucking push. But no, tell you what, I can fucking do this. You're not gonna get in my fucking way, cunt bag. I ain't fucking having it. I mean, this goes into like when you're like anxious or depressed and all that shit as well. Like, you know, when you're not really anxious about something. I think I've said this before. When you're like, oh, you know, like, I can't think. You know how you're anxious, nervous sort of thing about going and doing something, I don't know, like a speech or, I don't know, maybe you've got to make a phone call or whatever, anything like that. Any like real severe, intense emotion that you're feeling, you're like, blah. It's all your head. It's all that cunt driving and not you. And I bet, how many times have you done something like that where you felt like that and then went and done it and then afterwards went, actually, it weren't that bad. Because it was your head creating all this shit to do with how you thought it might feel or how it might have gone for whatever that thing was. But actually, it turned out alright, because again, it's your brain trying to fuck you. I think, what is it? Like when you're growing up and like you're describing people that are like nuts a bit. It's like, oh, fucking hell, they hear voices and whatnot. I think we all need to accept that we're like, either with a perspective of like, yeah, we're all a bit crazy, or just that it's normal that we think in voices. Because it is, and you've got to kind of think like, your brain's in you and it's yours, but for some reason there's another cunt there that wants to do all this negative shit. And it's like, don't let him drive. Try and take over yourself. If you can fucking drive, you're going to do a lot fucking better. Hell yeah. Way better. I might touch on, I did say it recently in a little video on my socials, as to why I swear, kind of. So someone I know said, oh, by the way, a little bit of advice for you, cut down the swearing. I was like, fuck off, you fucking prick, you fucking twat, I'm going to stab you in the neck. No, I won't. And I found that interesting, so I could see why he was saying it, because like with my electrician work, if I go to a customer's house, I don't really swear, because I'm going in their fucking home, man, and they want to feel comfortable because I've got some stranger coming in to come fix some wiring. So yeah, I don't swear. But this is a whole other thing. Pardon me, burping again. See, unedited. It's all real. This is along the same lines of the swearing. So, I swear. Ask anyone that knows me, personally. Family, that worked with me, whatnot. Because this is what I said to this guy. I was like, dude, you work with me. You know how I am. You know how I talk. I swear a lot. I was like, so I'm going to be like that on fucking camera. One, from my own perspective, is it'd be fucking draining for me to have to put on a costume to talk to you guys. The second thing is, I'm here on camera and on a podcast trying to give you fucking advice about life. Like, I'm aware that you need almost like validation. Like, you need to trust me. So, and you went dumb. So any inkling you get that I'm talking out my arse, you ain't gonna fucking listen. Which means you ain't gonna take on my advice, which means you ain't gonna get the improvements or the benefits from saying what I'm saying, which is what I'm hoping or aiming for you to get. Because you ain't dumb. You want to feel like I'm genuine and I'm honest. You want to feel like you can trust me. You want to feel almost like I'm your friend. Like when you say, oh no, you know, Johnny that you've known since fucking school. Oh no, he saw him the other day and like he said like, oh, that thing you did the other day, probably not best, do it this way instead. And you're like, I can trust Johnny because we've been friends for years. I want you to feel like that with me. And you ain't going to feel like that if you think at all, in the slightest, that I'm putting shit on, that I'm trying to talk all hissy pissy motivational to you. You know what I mean? If you think that I've kind of gone off and watched a load of inspirational fucking videos and I went, oh yeah, I can blag that fucking talk, I'll come along and do my own podcast and shit and talk just like them, and like, oh yeah, quit in. No, I genuinely want you to have a better life. In a selfish way, I feel better knowing that you feel better. When I said the thing about the kitchen fitter guy that did the run and the following day, like he said, he only stopped once doing the run that evening. Like when he told me that and he felt better, I felt good. So I was like, I helped him do that. I didn't get paid for that. I didn't get paid to put my tools down while I was fucking working. If I hadn't have spoke to him, if I didn't take the time to talk to him like I did, I could have got my job done quicker, I could have got away sooner, and I could have probably got some more work done that day. I could have squeezed another job in, and I could have got more money. So if anything, I lost out on money by fucking yakking to him. But I can't help myself, because it just comes fucking natural. I see a gap
not even in the way, because some of you cunts won't be starting to twist this of like, oh yeah, got to give your fucking opinion to everyone. No, I hear a fucking gap and I'm like, I feel like he's doing that wrong and he could improve his life or her life. So, and I don't say it in a way of like, you should fucking do this, you twat, I know better than you. I say it in a way of like, hey, here's a perspective, here's some advice like you might want to take on, and I'll explain why and be like, look, maybe you should do this because of X, Y, and Z, and I think of it like this. Maybe you think the same way, maybe you don't, but I would recommend it and you'd probably be better for it. And then they go away and do it and come back and, hey, you're right, I feel better now, thanks for that. I'm like, fucking cool. So I feel good knowing that I fucking help people. I used to give relationship advice before I'd had a relationship. People used to come and ask me like questions and advice about their relationships, and I'd never had one myself. Because I've always had a good outer perspective. I've always been able to step away and look at things, and I've always been I've learned early on as a kid to fucking listen, as gay as it sounds. I enjoyed listening to people. I enjoyed gaining knowledge from other people's experiences. I was always aware that, well, they're older than me, they've been alive longer, they've seen more of the world. I want to glean some of that. I want to get as much of that off them as I fucking can. So all I'm getting at is that I like to give advice and I like to help. So it's all fucking me. And within that, within me being me, I swear. I say fucking shit and bollocks. I swear me 2-year-old the other day done something wrong and said bollocks. I'm like, shit. That I'm 50-50 with. I'm like, I'm not too bothered about me kids swearing, just as long as they know when and where. I think it's when you get trailing off slightly. What's the wording? Like if my kids just started swearing willy-nilly all over the gaff for no reason. Like, can I have the fucking cereal, please? Thanks, bastard dad. Like that. You'd be like, okay. But if they're angry and they say fuck, mate, that's the fucking world. Like I say bollocks when I fuck something. Drop my phone, bollocks. It's just reaction. Damn, shit, fuck. You know what I mean? It's just how it fucking is. But you see my point coming back. I don't want to lie to you. I want to help you. I want to help people. I want you to have a better life. If you have a better life, your partner's likely to have a better life. If you both are likely to have a better life, your kids are likely to have a better life. It spreads. Positivity spreads. So every fucking person I can help have a better life might help someone else have a better life. And you never know. By the time I'm dead, I might have actually helped leave the world a little bit better than when I found it. That's another one of them kind of sayings that is a bit cringy, but it's fucking true. I want to be on my fucking deathbed knowing that I've been told, like, you got fucking weeks to live because that thing's eating away at you, whatever it is. Knowing that there's people out there that are living better lives or lived better lives and happier because of my input. That's the ultimate kind of thing I'm going for with all this shit. See how I got all that just from some guy going, maybe you should swear less. Another little twist. I half explained that to him and he said, well, yeah, or you could not swear and like maybe be more successful. Like with the podcast and everything. And I said, well, yeah. I said, but picture this. One of my goals is to be able to do this full time. So I don't have to do my electrics in the day. I'd love to be able to be at a stage where I can do maybe more podcasts or like a separate podcast series that's maybe a bit more lighthearted, or like just have some really good planned podcasts for this podcast and maybe do some longer ones as well. Get guests on, things like that. It's a struggle to do that when I've got a full-time job. But I'd like to make a job of it between doing this and my YouTube channel and my fitness YouTube channel. Like, I'm creative. I've got ideas of things to do to try and help more people. So I says to the guy, I went, imagine that works out. I'm not trying to be a billionaire or anything. I want to supplement my income. Like, if I can equate what I'm earning now doing my electrics, so I can stop doing that, so I can just pay my rent and put food in my kids' mouths and afford the Sky, so I can watch some Sky channels. If I just pay my bills by doing this, my video stuff and my podcast and whatnot, I'll be happy. But imagine me having to do that off of a basis of me not swearing and being like this censored version of me. And I'm like, I wouldn't enjoy that. I'd be like, I'd have to like put on this mask every time I do a podcast or a video or something. Like, remember not to swear. Like, it sounds simple. Just us saying, oh, maybe not swear. I'm like, no, because it's me. And I want to be as authentic as I can. Like I say, from the angle of, so you trust me, so you know I'm not bullshitting you. But also, lead by example. If I'm going to be as authentic as I can be, and you see me doing that, then maybe you will too. And that's going to help you in your life as well. And then again, someone else, knock-on effect, positivity spreads, boom. Because I think that's the way to go. If you could just be truthful, honest, and authentic. Like, you don't eat away at yourself, because it's horrible being fake. It's horrible. It eats away at you. So you're going to feel like that, better about yourself, because that's horrible. And then you're going to be better to other people as well. And as a result of that, people should be better to you. So it's this whole cycle of just, let's just be fucking honest. So yeah, I think I'm going to leave it at that. Just a shorter one this week. Nothing too in-depth for you, I don't think. I don't think it was that bad. As always with my podcast, because I'm here trying to help you mentally build yourself up, give you some tools and things like that. One of the biggest fucking things that helps with that is exercise. I started exercising myself for my stress and my anxiety and everything, dealing with my self-employment and all my kids and whatnot, because I wanted to be a better version of me, to set a better example for my kids, to be able to parent better, to be a better husband, to be a better partner, to be a better person. And I was like, I've dabbled in exercise over the years, but I was like, I need to really get fucking on it now, because shit's starting to slip the wrong way. So I started documenting it. I've done a fucking vlog. I've done my first vlog, saying what I'm saying to you then about when I first started. That was back in November last year. So I've got a fitness channel where I vlog my workouts, my morning workouts, and I have to do them in the morning because, like I say, full-time job, 3 young kids, wife, family. So I'm up and in my garden gym that I made for about 6 o'clock, between 5:30 and 6 o'clock every morning. And I vlog it. One is a loose tutorial so you can see what I'm doing, but then more to set the example and to show, like, look, man, I'm fucking doing it every week, every day, and I'm doing it. Within that, I've got some tutorials. I'm going to do some more soon. Because you don't have to join a gym. You don't have to join a gym. Maybe you don't want to travel to the gym. Maybe you don't want to pay a gym membership. Maybe you don't like the feel of being in the gym because you feel self-conscious and that's too much of a barrier to jump past. It's like, you don't fucking need it. You can do it all from fucking home. The cardio side of things, which I think is the most important for mental health and like just your general well-being and stability, just getting your heart pumping. I don't know the science behind it. All I know is if you get your fucking heart rate up, it helps you a lot. Just 10 minutes. You don't need a rower. You don't need a treadmill. You don't need any equipment like that. You just need to move your body non-stop for 10 minutes. So if you've got a garage or a garden or a lounge, dining room, anywhere you can do it where you're not going to disturb someone, running on the fucking spot, getting your knees up, tap your fucking knees, maybe drop down into a push-up position and jump back up, do some fucking jump squats, do some fucking lunges, just keep moving your fucking body for 10 minutes and do not stop for 10 minutes. Save your life, patent pending. That'll fucking do you, that will. And then with strength training, if you just want to maintain yourself, if you just want to be healthy, strong, like I say, not everyone wants to be like really into fitness and really like build and everything like that. Pull-ups, push-ups, dips, sit-ups or leg raises and squats. All them body movements. You just need a door frame pull-up bar and a set of gymnastics rings, and that'll do you. Because if you can't do pull-ups, you can do incline pull-ups with the rings. You can do low dips with your feet on the floor with the rings. You could just do it all with that. And just do like a little rounds-based workout, 10, 10, 10. Just do 10 reps of each, no max reps. Just do 10 sets of each. Then have like a 4-minute break and then do another 10 reps of each set. And then just do that 3 times or 4 times in a rounds-based workout. Like, you're not going to build massive, but that'll maintain you, it'll keep you fit, it'll hit the muscle groups. And with your 10 minutes cardio, just little maintenance workout, I'd probably say is what, 30, 40 minutes there a day. That'll do you, that will. Fucking done. But if you do want to progress more, that's the great thing about bodyweight training is the bodyweight movements are just, I prefer them to weightlifting movements. But you got to think about that. I just adding weight. So you just do from pull-ups. If you get good at doing pull-ups, you do weighted pull-ups. You do weighted dips, weighted push-ups. Or you can change the progression. So you can go from doing pull-ups to muscle-ups. You can go from doing normal push-ups to planche push-ups, which is where you have your hands by your waistline and you lift your whole body flat off the floor. You will never get a funny-looking physique with calisthenics because every movement's a compound movement. You're working multiple muscle groups. They're much more natural movements. So you can do it like that way better. I'm more along that way. I'll do like push, pull, splits and whatnot because I want to build with it. So yeah, you really recommend 10-minute cardio and then a little rounds based all body, full body workout. Just do that 5 days a week, or at least 3. I'll fucking do you that, Will. But I've got my vlogs to show you I fucking do it, how I do it, what I do, and I've got some tutorials as well. If you do want to get into the more pushing for the strength, you want to get into your weighted dips and all that kind of stuff, and you're looking for like supplements, I eat the Warrior protein bars. I haven't tried the shakes or anything yet, but I like the stuff. I have the bars every day with my lunch. So I reached out to them and got one of them fucking ambassador bastard codes. So if you use my code, which is a WS, because it's Warrior Supplements, WS Ryan's Road, you get 27% off. So like I say, I think I mentioned it last week as well, I'm not pushing it on you. I'm not sat here going, oh, they're the best in the world. But they've got some fucking cool stuff. The flapjack bars, which I have, are nice. And their crunch bars are the fucking bollocks. I really do like them. But I haven't tried any of the shakes and stuff yet myself. But like I say, you don't need that stuff. You don't have to have it for your mental health. But if you decide you want to do some like real working out and you want to start pushing your boundaries and whatnot and you need some supplements, you want to do some protein powder or something, you can do that. And what I am doing is, because with that code you get 27% off and I get, I think it's 5% commission on it. If I get anything through that, it's going in a little pot and then that's going to go towards making the podcast better. The main next step I want to save to get is a different microphone that's got like the sponge bit built around it so I don't have to have this pop shield, and I want to get 2 of them on separate stands so then I can start having proper guests on. Because when I had James here the other week, my best mate, we had to sit quite close together. I don't know how it looked on camera, but we had to sit really close together to get the mic close enough to both of us so that the audio would be okay. Don't mind that because we've been best friends since primary school, but if I'm trying to get someone that I've like barely met just to get them on the podcast, I need a bit of comfortable space and I need a decent microphone where I ain't got to worry about pop shield and shit. So yeah, anything that I do get from that fucking Warrior code thing, it's all going to go to try and make the podcast better, like getting a camera that doesn't time out after 30 minutes. You know, just all that kind of crap. Blocks, I'm not pushing it on you. You don't have to have it. You don't need supplements. You know, if you're just looking to maintain your body and maintain your mental health, which is the point of my podcast and point of my vlogs, you don't need it. Okay? Like I touched on already, I'm honest with you. I ain't fucking bullshitting you. But if you want to build muscle and whatnot and strengthen yourself more, which is what I'm doing, I use that stuff. So obviously I'm going to recommend it because I fucking use it. I used it already. Yeah, so that's just there. Right, on that note, I'm going to love you and leave you. I've touched on everything else. Comments are always cool. Let me fucking know. You can email me at ryansroadpodcast@gmail.com. Instagram, rise.road. Facebook, riseroad22. If this is on YouTube, you're watching it, should be links in the description. If you're not and you're listening to it, easiest way is probably to jump onto my Instagram, rise.road. And in my description, I've got a flow link. And that's got links to everything then. Like that's got links to my music channel and my family channel and everything as well. So it's all there. It's all linked up, yo. So yeah, let me know you're watching. If you're watching and you're liking anything I've said, or even if you don't like something I've said, you think, mate, you're wrong there, I disagree, fucking tell me. Come on, come at me in a good way. I want conversation. I want to hear this shit. I want a comment saying, mate, I don't agree with you on this, or you're a twat for saying that, just so I can go, why? I'm really intrigued as to what you think. What's your perspective? Let's talk. Let's get some fucking engagement, man. want to fucking talk to people. So if you've watched this, if you've watched any of my podcasts, you've got to the end, you must have thought something during the listening or watching. So just that thing that you've thought, come and tell it me. If you don't want to do it in a public comment, just fucking DM me. Be cool, man. Even if you just want to tell me I've got a big nose. Right, we're going to leave it at that. I love you. I'm going to catch you, see you, hear you, listen to you, speak with you next week.